This is Matt in the Man Cave, guys. It's late nights after dark. Double fist bump to you, my friends. Hey, guys, do you like hidden treasures? Let me ask you another question. Would you like to be hiking, okay, and all of a sudden you look at something shiny and you're like, what in the world is that? And you start kicking it up and it's maybe something that's very valuable and it's yours. I mean, finders, keepers, losers, sweepers. I mean, that's the world, what they say. But honestly, say it's on your property and you'd never seen it before and it's just kind of hidden there and there was a big rain and all of a sudden you're seeing something and you're like, what is that? And you get a shovel and you start digging it up and you cannot believe it. Maybe it was from 100 years ago. Friends, hidden riches are all around you all of the time, and you and I don't even perceive it. And like, listen. This isn't a health and wealth gospel message. This is the truth. Imagine this. You, every single day after you get off of work, before you come home, you get a hamburger. When you first got the job and you were coming home and you saw this hamburger place and you're like, hey, that looks good. And you had that hamburger. You were so delighted with that hamburger. Were you not? The second day you got off of work, you're still delighted. You're like, man, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? You're like, this is going to be my normal deal. I go to work, I have a snack at work, but when I'm coming home, before I get home to mama, I'm going to eat a triple cheese bacon cheeseburger, toasted bun, garlic all over it, a large fry, a shake, and a Coke. Here, take that, baby. But after about 9 months, you're still stopping to get the burger. But it doesn't have the same allure as it did on day 1 or day 30. Now imagine a guy just served 20 years for murder. He gets out and he's passing your hamburger stand. And he stops the car and he says, let me please go in here. Who do you think's going to enjoy the burger more? You, after you've eaten it 9 months, 10 months, a year, or someone who's eaten prison food for 20 years? I guarantee his perspective about the gorgeous hamburger that you used to love, okay, is totally different from yours because it's something unique, it's something he couldn't have at all, and it's not expected. I mean, it's a blessing. And I'm here to tell you, every single day, you have treasures, you have blessings, and yet you don't see them as that. Today we're going to be in Isaiah's writings, chapter 45. And I want you to just listen to these words, okay? And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Why? That thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by name, am the God of Israel. Friends, some of the treasures that you have, it's almost like they're in a darkened room in the back of your mind. You already have the treasures. Well, Matt, can I ask you a question? Yeah. If you were to go down to hell, walk up to the gate, and you're able to talk to the people through the gate, is there anyone in hell, out of the billions, maybe even trillions of people, that wouldn't think you're blessed being on this side of the gate? Could there even be one? And they knew that you had a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And then they knew this, when you died, that you would open your eyes in heaven. But for them, they rejected Christ. Is there anyone in all of hell that would think that you're not blessed? Not one of them. Not one of them. Friends, let me ask you another question. Is there any mom and dad that are basically living at the children's hospital because something's wrong with their kid? And yet, in your life, all your kids are healthy and they're vibrant. Do you not think that they would think you're so blessed beyond all the riches of the world? You are richer than Solomon in his heyday. Do you not think they think that? Do you not think that they would give anything in this life just to have their child like yours that's healthy. Friends, let me ask you a question. About a year and 3 months ago, I was homeless, and I was sitting in my car spending the night with my children, and they were asking this question, Dad, what are we going to do? And guess what I was praying to God in heaven? God, what am I going to do? Friends, do you think my perspective changed after spending several nights in my car with my family and not knowing where I was going, not knowing which way God was leading me? Friends, at that time, I remember being envious of people that had apartments. I'm not talking about owning a home. I'm just talking about you have a place to hang up your clothes, put your furniture, put your food in the fridge. I envied those people, and I cried out to my God to hear me and give me direction. Guys, do you know I love playing basketball? I do. But I can't play basketball because I have I'm not going to say the worst ankles, but my ankles roll. I mean, I'm really good up until my ankles roll, and then for weeks upon weeks, maybe 6 weeks, it swells up, it gets black and blue, it hurts. I mean, it hurts. And I was sitting in my car sometime back, and I'm just waiting for my wife to get out of work, and my ankle was just throbbing. I could feel it. And I hadn't played basketball, but I kind of twisted it coming off of a curb. And I wasn't complaining to God, but I was about to. I was about to complain, you know what I'm saying, about my ankle, and, you know, I have rotten ankles. I'd like to play basketball, Lord. And then I saw a man who had no legs walk out of the job where my wife worked. And let me just describe what he did, okay? His legs were cut off right here. And he couldn't afford prosthetics. And I know I'm not pronouncing the word, but just roll with me. And so you know what he did? He took a hacksaw, okay, to a tire. Listen, a hacksaw. And so he cut a tire this way. So, you know, if you cut a tire, it's kind of rounded. And then he put the round part of the tire there, and then he duct taped a tire piece to the bottom of his nub. And I saw him kind of walking like this. You're like, could he walk? He's not walking like you and me. He was kind of wobbling like this. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I never ever since that time that I saw that man walking with no legs, with used tires, okay? I never complained about my ankles anymore. Friends, you are rich beyond measure. But you and I, we're not seeing the treasures that are all around us. We're complaining. We don't have enough in life. Oftentimes we think, I want more, I want more, I want more. Friends, you have it. You have a ticket to go and spend eternity in heaven. Most of you, I would say, are living in an apartment or a home. You have clothes, you have food, and if you only have a little bit of money, you're better than 90% of the known world because they don't have squat. Friends, we overlook the blessings and favor of God in our daily lives. We get into a habit because we live here in America and we're looking outward and we're watching that which we shouldn't be watching, and we're seeing the lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Do you know that guy, Robert Leach? I was in a business one time, listen very carefully, and I was working there about 4 years ago. And guess who walked on in? Robert Leach. He was the host of the movie, of the show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And he would go all over the world. And he would what? He would be showcasing a person's life, their cars, their yachts, their belongings, their gold, their silver, their money, all their vaults, everything that they had. He would just be showing it. And he would be drinking champagne. Champagne and caviar dreams, baby. But when that man, who was always dressed to the nines, who was with some of the richest people in this world, came into that business, he was on an oxygen tank. He didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And yes, he was a nice man, but within 2 years later, he was going to close his eyes in death. And from what I understand, he did not know Christ. He's on the other side of the gates of hell. And I wonder, as he looks through the gates at me right now doing this devotion, if he doesn't think, Matt, you are the richest man in the entire world. You have a family that loves you. You have clothes. You have $40 in your wallet. All your bills have been paid for the month. And most of all, you have what I can never have. You have Christ. You have a personal relationship with the Creator of the universe. Friends, we oftentimes don't see what is right before us, those treasures. Our text today says that these treasures oftentimes are in darkness and they're hidden. They're hidden because we're not grateful and we don't have the right attitude. They're hidden because we can't see them. We have eyes to see and we don't see, ears to hear. We're not perceiving their treasures. We're thinking, this is my lot in life. We have an entitlement attitude. We don't see what's right there. Some of us just don't see what we already have. I mean, we just don't see it. We have this attitude that blinds us to the fact of how blessed we are. We had good friends that were missionaries in Haiti. They had 3 daughters and a son, and they were going about their father's business. What was their number one problem while they were in Haiti? Was it someone stabbing them and murdering them in the night? No, they lived during the night. They lived on a compound with guarded gates. They were in good shape. On the compound, they had a water source. On the compound, they had all of these fruit trees. When they went off the compound and they went into the surrounding villages to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, they would take their children sometimes. Their 3 daughters would see men who are fully grown with no clothes on. They had to wait, stop, pause, get on a plane, and get out of there because they didn't want that environment for their children. It was okay for their son, but these are grown men all over the place who don't own clothes. And they didn't want their daughters looking at that because over there it's just acceptable. But over here, when we hear that, we would be like, are you kidding me? Friends, one of the things that I see throughout the Bible is when an individual or a people forget God, the whole Bible's full of those stories, or they're not grateful for the life that God has given them, the belongings, the property. I don't need to go there. I mean, we can just look at Israel, the one warning that God gave Israel hundreds of times. When you go into the promised land, don't forget me. He said it 25, 30 different ways. When you enter the promised land, when you get your house that you didn't build, your vineyard that you didn't plant, you know what I'm saying, this and that, and treasures and all the things, all the desires of your heart, God just says this, don't forget me, because I've learned throughout the Bible, just from the Bible, but I've also learned from society and watching other people. And here's what I've learned. When you're not grateful for that which is hidden before you because of your arrogance and your ungrateful heart, God will take it away. Once He takes it away and you don't have that anymore, guess what happens really soon? You start missing it and you start to be grateful, but it's too late. You're what? You're like the guy who was getting the hamburger, not in the beginning when he first got hired, but a year and a half later, where it was just no big deal. He wasn't even grateful. He wasn't even saying a prayer as he sucked down the burger. He was getting fat. Right, Hunter? Right. Friends, do you know this plays out in life in many different ways as well? There are opportunities that are there, and you're not seeing them as opportunities. You're not seeing that treasure that's there, and you're not taking advantage of what God has presented to you. You might be saying, well, I don't want to do that. That's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for so long. You know what I'm saying? And this is my background. And yet you have needs, and you don't want to do this. You don't want this opportunity that God has opened the door. Not even realizing that this opportunity may lead to meeting someone that's on the what? On the floor, and they see your potential, and you start talking to them, and you start sharing what you used to do, and they make a phone call for you. Because here's the thing, that's what like-minded Christians do. They stand in the gap and they help others. But you're not willing to move through the door that God obviously has opened. That's a treasure that will remain in darkness as you cry out to God in your ungrateful heart. I'm telling you not to do it. I want you from now on, and I want you to listen to me. I want you to act like a prisoner. You know who I like talking to the most? Honestly, all right? It's prisoners. When I come to prison, they're glad to see me. They're glad to listen to me. I mean, they're focused on me. They want to hear what I have to say. But I want you to be a prisoner on the last day, where he's remembering all that he went through. He's remembering all the time that he served. He's remembering all that he learned, but he's getting out of jail. And he's going to be driving down the road for the first time in 20 years, and he's going to see your old favorite hamburger place, And in his heart, he knows, oh my goodness, I would be so grateful just to take one bite of a triple cheese bacon burger with garlic sauce all over and a fry. Oh, and if I could only get a shake, and I would praise God of heaven if I could have a Coke to wash it all down. See, he is willing to worship right there in the hamburger stand. He doesn't care who sees him. Glory to God in the highest for making cows. Friends, he's excited. Everything's new to him. Everything was taken away. Do you want God to take everything away from you because you're used to the treasures and now they've lost their shininess? And yet if you will just start looking at them in the right perspective and seeing the value that you already have, just to live is a gift from God. Every day his mercies are new. Every day you're breathing in and the sun comes up on your face, you've been blessed. See, guys, if we were to go back to our text, listen to these words. And I will give thee. God's already given it to you. No, God's already given it to you. He's given it to you. You just don't see it for what it is. Breathe in. How's that feel? It's okay, I'm breathing. It's God's air, but how does it feel to breathe in? Do you think a person that's lost and in hell wouldn't like to take one more breath in this life? They're in the graveyard. It's over for them. I will give thee. See, God's already given you everything, and he's given you the greatest gift of all, the opportunity to just ask for a relationship with God the Father through God the Son by way of God the Spirit. It's yours. And then God leads you. You know what else? Your debt has been paid off to heaven. You've been forgiven. Wow. You're not going to hell. You're going to heaven. And so you're on a journey through this life. And it's how you see the journey. Are you stopping and smelling the roses? Are you enjoying all the things daily that have been presented to you? Friends, if not, you're robbing and cheating yourself, and you're screwing God out of his glory because he's worthy to be praised. See, God is worthy to be praised, honored, and thanked for every day and everything that he's already done. He's already given you the treasures. They're presented to you. You have the opportunity, okay, to seize this life, to just go out with boldness in the strength of your God. And as he leads you to open doors, knock down mountains, go through obstacles, okay, be more than a man through Christ. When you're weak, you're strong still. Friends, it's all there for you. Start seeing the treasures that have been presented to you. If you have health, you have the opportunity to do it all. And if not, you have the opportunity in Christ to ask for healing. You can do it. And you say, Matt, I'm not rich. I'm barely making it. Yes, but you're making it. And who says you're not rich? You're richer than anyone in hell. And you're richer than anyone in this earth that doesn't have Christ. I'd say you're very, very rich. Are you talking about just wanting to have gold bars in some vault somewhere so you can feel good about yourself, so you can feel you're protected, so you can feel some kind of self-assurance? That's foolishness. God is your source, your resource, your first love. He sustains you. Friends, don't forget the treasures that you already have. This is Matt in the Man Cave.